Right, I'm live, I think. It never tells you on Facebook. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm live and I'm going to go for it. Right, okay. So tonight I am talking about something personal, really. I mean, it's regrets. And I've had a few. My life hasn't been a straightforward experience, really. It's been a bit up and down, to say in a simple way. It wasn't that long ago that I was sat in that bed contemplating my life, considering, ending it all. And, with a past full of, bad choices, hurt, pain, terrible mistakes, loss. It's natural that you feel an element of guilt, self-loathing, as well as loss and pain. These all come hand in hand, especially when you've lived a lifestyle like a destructive lifestyle, which hurts lots of people, which is what I used to live. And, so it's natural and normal that you're going to develop beliefs and attitudes and thoughts which are self-defeating, which hold us back from creating and being who we really want to be in life, because we're continually questioning ourselves, doubting ourselves, not believing in our full potential. However, how does focusing on the past mistakes that we've made and the past choices or decisions that we've made which haven't ended well, how does focusing on those help us? How does it help you move forward in life and create something in life? You can create something positive if you can't create something positive if you're constantly focusing on what's gone, what's behind you, what happened in the past, the negatives, the bad choices which perhaps hurt people or created problems for lots of people. It's normal to think this way. It's normal to focus on that, because none of us want to hurt people deliberately, unless there's something wrong with you. But I mean, so when we look back at decisions and choices we've made which have done that, it's normal to then feel guilty or, self-loathing or questioning yourself. Why did I do that? Why didn't I do this differently? It's normal to feel that way. However, it's not going to help us move forward if we continue to think that way. So, we're focusing on limitations, reasons why we can't do things. Looking backwards, you don't ever see what's in front of you when you're trying to create something, because we're too focused on the doors that are already closed behind us. So I'm currently working on my first book. I'm authoring my first book called To Hell and Back and Then Some. And it's about my journey. It's about me, my life, and where I was, what happened in that journey, and where I am now. But also, it's actually not about me. It's about you. It's about everybody, because we've all got a journey. We've all had experiences. We've all been places, and we've all been through some sort of change or transition in our lives. So really the book is focused on those people, not me. My story is highlighted because I want people to recognise the fact that we can change our lives and we can create something special despite our circumstances and what we've been through in life and where we've, the things that we've done and the mistakes we've made. So you see, all of us have a past, and many of us allow the past to hold us back in some way from being in the present. So we're not in the present if we're focused on the past. We always either regret past mistakes and choices and feel guilty about them, and often we'd wished we acted differently in those circumstances, and sit there focusing on things that have already happened in the past, thinking all the different ways we should have acted, or what would have happened if we'd have done this differently and stuff like that. So it's totally normal to think that way, especially when those choices or decisions have led to harm, hurt, pain and loss. It's normal to think that way, and you wouldn't be a human being if you didn't. So imposter syndrome is one of those key factors which stop us in our tracks. Imposter syndrome is where you doubt yourself, basically. You don't see, you might be really doing well in life. You might be really flying at work, producing excellent results at work. And then and it's normal again to suddenly question that, develop that. Because we might focus on things that have happened in the past and say to yourself, I'm not worthy of this. I'm not deserving of success. and we question ourselves. We find reasons why we can't be successful, or why we shouldn't be doing well in life or whatever, and that then stops us focusing in a way that we want to, and it lowers our energy, and we start stalling. We don't move forward in the same way that we probably would have without that. So we simply don't believe that we're worthy. We question every element of ourselves, and that leads to your self-esteem, your confidence, your self-belief, all draining and disappearing. And then you find yourself in a situation where you're constantly thinking, I'm not good enough. One day I'm going to get found out and everyone's going to find out what a fraud I am. We question ourselves. Even though the evidence might show differently, we'll still ignore that, and we'll focus on the reasons why we shouldn't be successful, or why we're not deserving of success and stuff like that. So it's normal to feel that way. And imposter syndrome is something that so many people have either experienced or struggle with in all industries, all life. It doesn't matter what you do for a profession. It's common, footballers, coaches. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're you've got a past, it's normal that you're going to have some sort of element of imposter syndrome at some stage in your life. So breaking free of this draining sort of mindset and creating a belief which reinforces exactly where we want to be in life is fundamentally important if you really want to live the life that you want. If you want to live a life which you create and you are in control of, then getting rid of these sort of draining, defeating thoughts is fundamentally important, because with them, you're not going to create the life that you really want. So instead, you're going to live a life, with regrets. And, if you don't make a decision to move forward even now, you'll still have a regret. Why didn't I take that opportunity when it arose? Because you talked yourself out of it. You found a reason why you couldn't. You made an excuse. You let the opportunity pass you by. And that happens so often. It's happened to me numerous times. And people, we talk ourselves out of situations which we know will benefit us. And that's because we don't feel worthy. We don't feel able. There'll be a reason why we can't. I'm not able to do this. I'm not going to be able to. I've had it with clients. A client will commit to something and then pull out because they panic. They panic. They think to themselves, oh my God, what am I getting myself into? I don't know if I can cope with this. They can cope with it, but they tell themselves otherwise, and that then stops them in their tracks. They don't make the progress that they want to, and they let an opportunity which could be amazing for them pass them by. It's happened so many times. So breaking free of that is important. So when you practice the discipline of acceptance, you are able to see everything with clarity. You see things as it is, what is, and you see the past, what was. And you see that without judgment, because with acceptance comes non-judgment. And, once you do that, the next step is accept that everything is and perfect. It was perfectly okay as it is. So we don't judge the situation for what we think it is. We don't look at it through the lens of judgment and low energy, where you're seeing things, oh no, I was a victim, it was a conflict sort of situation. We look at it with complete non-judgment and just see it for what it was. And that's what true acceptance is. It's when you see something for what it is without the judgment and with objectivity. We're seeing it without telling ourselves it was a good or bad situation, it was right or wrong, none of that. It's just no judgment. It is what it is. So when you fully practice acceptance of yourself, others, and situations around you, you are completely non-judgmental. And that's the thing. You got to remember it's not easy to be non-judgmental. We all are naturally. But simply acknowledging the experience of what is without rating it as good as bad releases that sort of draining mentality. Without practicing acceptance, it's nearly impossible to achieve self-mastery in life. So when acceptance is missing, we end up sort of focusing on fighting the what is and the what was. And we actually try to change it to what we want it to be, even though it's past and we can't do that. So acceptance is about gaining control and increasing potential. It's not the weak who accept. And this is another thing I've heard a lot of. People assume that accepting means you're saying, yeah, it was all right. I'm glad that happened. No, it's not acquiesce. We're not acquiescing to something that happened which was really bad. You know, we're just accepting it as it is. You know, it might have been someone dying. I'm not pleased my family died, but I accept it. It is what it is. I can't change it. So I can only learn from it and grow from it and use it to my best opportunity rather than being the victim to it. So I could have easily been a victim to that, easily. And you know, in many ways, but I don't like being a victim, so I choose not to be. So I use it to my benefit to try and help me move forward. And I've learned and grown a heck of a lot from that. It's not something I want. I'd have them back in a second. But they're not. It's not going to happen. So why be a victim to it? Choose to see it as something constructive that you can move forward with and learn from. Mr. Key. So acceptance does not mean you accept things as bad things as good. Okay, it means you're simply saying to yourself, it is what it is. How can I use this experience to help me grow? Okay, before you move forward, we must first embrace where we are right now. And if you're still mentally, emotionally hung up on the past, you're looking backwards and never forward. Rafael Nadal, I have to say his name right, the tennis player, and I wrote this quote down, it excellently stated, enduring means accepting things as they are and not as you would wish them to be, and looking ahead and not behind. And that epitomizes this perfectly. It's exactly how we should think. So after all, it's not our history that creates the future, it's us. And in any situation with what we have, we are always doing our best. Our best is not always good enough, but we're always doing our best. And it's impossible to make a mistake when you're doing your best. We always learn, we always grow. So there's no such thing as a mistake, because we're always learning and we're always growing from them. Okay, so all experiences have value. Okay, so to find out how hiring an actual coach helps you in terms of gaining clarity of mind, increasing your confidence, helping you become much more consciously aware of what your thoughts are and how they're affecting your emotions and how they're creating your actions, and obviously acceptance as well. How can a coach help you become much more accepting of yourself, the people around you, and life as a whole? And ultimately, how can a coach help you create the life that you choose? And if you're interested in finding out how I can help you, then book a 20-minute call with me today. Go on my website or check out one of my social medias and get in touch, and I will book a 20-minute call with you, a free 20-minute call, and I will explain to you exactly how I work and more specifically how I help you. And if you're interested in moving forward with your life, get in touch. And for tonight, I wish you well and enjoy the long weekend, and I will see you next time. See you soon. Bye bye.